What is going on, everyone? This is John with my boy Lee, and this is the first in person installment of the We Would Have Talked About It Anyway podcast. Lee, my boy, welcome to Seattle, man. How have you liked it so far?
Thank you, man. It was good. I got a Sonics hoodie yesterday just to rep it.
Yeah?
Um, so like people in Seattle really miss the Sonics, is what you're telling me,
They do.
right?
They do.
Shouts out. Like I don't know. I don't know any
Dude,
other.
that's a sick hoodie, though.
It was really
I have
cool.
to say.
I like the old school, um, like their logo.
Yeah.
It's a really good logo. I think this and when Vancouver had the Grizzlies,
Mhm.
those were also good jerseys.
I mean, those are really solid jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked the the old school Hornets jerseys before the Hornets first moved to New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
Those were really solid. The Vancouver Grizzlies ones are really nice.
Yeah, and now like I didn't know that Seattle was just right above Vancouver. So
It's below Vancouver.
oh my bad. Yeah.
It's
My
just below
geography's all bad. My
Vancouver.
geography's all bad. But yeah, that would've been cool. Like I could just think about it like what it was like. They had a team here, then you just go up the border,
Hmm.
and then there's another basketball team. So it's sad that there are zero basketball teams now, but there is a football team, and we did watch the Seattle Sonics. So
Has that been your highlight this whole time?
Nah, man, just being here in general is really good. Like, freaking Seattle's like super pretty. Um, but going to like the Sonics game, like that was like my first actual like NFL game that I went to,
Hmm.
and I never felt more like an American. Like just going over there, getting a hot dog and beer, and then just watching football and like just yelling, I guess.
Dude,
I don't know. Is that just like the Seahawks? Cause like the Seahawks are hella loud. Like Seahawks fans were hella loud.
I mean, Seahawks fans are always loud.
Uh,
I think, if I remember correctly, Lumen Field is like considered like the loudest stadium. So like the
mm,
Seahawks are technically known to be like the loudest fans in the NFL. Raider fans might give you a little run for your money there.
mm-hmm.
Um, so will Cowboys fans.
What was another NFL team that you watched that wasn't the Seahawks? Cause you watched.
I've been to Rams home games.
Were they like that? Cause like when I got there, like right when we got to our seats, we were yelling the entire time.
No, it's not like
It's
that.
not like that for a
No,
Rams game.
no. I think part of the problem is with Rams games, like it's Los Angeles,
Mm-hmm.
so like there's a lot of things, there's a lot of stuff that you can do. So then you're just in this like mindset where it's like, okay, I can go to a Rams game, it's fine. And it's more like a gathering than it is like Rams fans actually watching it.
Dude, it was a freaking event. Like everyone was just hella yelling the entire time we were there.
Yeah,
I
I
was
mean that's
happy.
the thing though. Like Seahawks fans are like fanatic. Like they will rip your head off if you aren't if you're not rooting for them. Not as bad as Raider fans. I mean, Raider fans take it a little too far. I'm sure you've heard like random stories about Raider fans, but
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could just see just anybody being hella drunk at a football game and then just starting a fight just cause.
yeah. Although I will say, for as loud as the Seahawks fans were when the Rams were up, they didn't really give the Rams fans themselves any real problems.
No, it wasn't. We weren't. I don't know. Where we were at, it wasn't crazy. Um, but yeah, just seeing everyone just like freaking out. That was a really good game too. I
Hmm.
was really like Geno Smith had to come back in
Yeah,
because like Russell Wilson like messed up his finger,
totally fucked it
and
up.
then the whole crowd was just like Geno, Geno.
And then he threw the interception that did.
Yeah, that was really sad, man. Like I was like pretty hyped. Like I thought they were gonna have a comeback, but didn't happen.
Didn't happen, man.
Didn't happen.
But it's alright, man. I'm
It's
glad.
okay.
Would you say that that's been the highlight of your trip so far?
I think just everything has been the highlight. Just I don't think there's one thing. Just being here in general has been very fun. I can't just bring it down to just one thing. I think this is the highlight. We're actually like recording an actual episode, so
Damn, dude.
it's exciting.
Like I said, it's super good to have you here, man.
Thanks, bro.
Glad you're liking Seattle.
Uh huh.
Maybe you're a Seahawks fan, but
I think I'm a Laker fan, so like I just like basketball for the most part. But I do enjoy like watching other sports. So I think if I ever go to another NFL game, I'm whatever home team it is.
smart, smart,
So
smart.
I'm just trying to yell with all the people that are over
I get that, man.
there.
I totally get that.
Yeah. But while we were in the car, like, cause it was like hella traffic, like it was hella traffic finding parking, and then like it was just a mission like leaving the field after.
Mm-hmm.
Um, while we were in the car, we started talking about like a lot of like hip hop stuff, and then
Oh
I
man.
brought up like hip hop conspiracy theories,
Oh man, dude.
which are a lot, but
There's a lot of them.
yeah.
I mean, there's some that have been like, well, like talked about, like Jay Z's potential connection with the Illuminati. He's even played into that.
Yeah, I forgot what song we were listening to, but that's what like brought it up, like Jay Z Illuminati stuff. And then there's just so many. What are some of your? Tell me a hip hop conspiracy theory, Sean.
I don't even know if it's like necessarily hip hop conspiracy, but like while we were, I don't even know if it necessarily, like I said, I don't know if you call it conspiracy,
Mm-hmm.
but like literally like when we got back from the Seahawks game, I was on TikTok and I got that Vince Staples interview
Mm-hmm.
when he was with Hot 97 talking about how like Ray J influences everything, and I'm like, oh, that might not be true,
Mm-hmm.
but then I looked into it because I was like, it's kind of interesting. I wonder how much credence there is to that,
Yeah.
and there's a lot there, man. There's a lot more. There's a lot more than you realize.
Of Ray J being connected to everything.
Of Ray J being connected to everything, man.
Of like in terms of like hip hop or like how is
Not
Ray
even
J
just hip hop,
connected to
man.
stuff?
Not even just hip hop. Because think about it, like if you had to think of a family right now that's like super popular, who would you think of?
Of a family?
Yeah, that like took shit that like just like are
Just
super successful.
uh, Jeff Bezos' family?
No, no, like where they're all like fucking.
Are you saying the Kardashians?
I'm saying the Kardashians. I mean, Kim doesn't get popular without without Ray J's sex ticket.
Okay, so yeah, okay, that's one thing, but that's not related to. But you're not saying hip hop conspiracy.
I'm not saying for this specific one. I'm not saying hip hop.
You're just saying.
But if you wanted to stick to just hip hop,
Okay.
if you wanted to just stick to just hip hop,
Mm.
I mean, there's a lot to that there. I mean, we could talk about it this way. You know, when you think of Ray J,
Mm-hmm.
you don't think of him being a badass, but it's like, you know, remember when Fabulous was like at like the top of his game?
Yeah, I mean, Fabulous is still good to me. I feel like, but I get you. Like at his peak, like prime, like early 2000 or like whatever.
It was like
When
early
he made
to
the
late
song
mids.
with Tamia, like when he was his most popular, because his mixtape stuff is really good.
Yeah, but yeah, he there's a story that like he like tried to step to the money team,
Mm-hmm.
and Ray J fucking was like,
Like for boxing.
yeah, for boxing,
Okay.
like trying to talk shit about Floyd Mayweather,
Mm-hmm.
and Ray J was not having it, so stuff went down, and then Ray J called I think he called Hot 97,
Uh huh.
and basically just shitted on fucking Fabulous, and then you didn't hear shit from Fabulous. He didn't drop the album he was supposed to drop. He changed his whole look, totally different person.
But
I-
is that just because? Is
No.
that because of Ray J or just because like Fabulous decided to change up his thing because he just wanted to change his clothes? I
Dude,
don't know.
it was overnight, man. It was overnight.
Okay, I'm not too sure about the Fabulous one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Ray J, because Fabulous still like put out a lot of good music still after that.
Did he though?
Yeah, man,
It-
he had like all of his like
Mhm.
mixtapes, the soul tapes. He made the soul tapes after that. That's still really good.
You sure about that?
Yeah, I mean, what years did he?
What years did the Soul Tapes come out?
I want to say like 09-ish, 2010. So then Soul Tape 2 came out at least like probably when we were still in high school, like 2010-ish. Soul Tapes 2 was really good. But it's not a commercial success, but I think it's at least.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Okay, what else other than Ray J messing up Fabulous has Ray J done? That's more of a conspiracy theory.
I mean, Ray J runs everything. I mean, look at it. Like, look at VH1.
Mm.
Since Ray J decided he wanted to have his own love reality show, it's basically like shit that Ray J likes or shit that Ray J's been a part of or has had influence on.
Did Ray J start Love and Hip Hop stuff?
Yeah.
Really? I've never watched Love and Hip Hop.
But there's like 5 or 6 of them now,
It's because of Ray J.
and it's because of Ray J.
Jesus.
It's because Ray J. And then he had, I Shot a Love for Ray J. He had the dating shows in like '09.
Yeah, I think Flavor of Love was the best. I've never watched actual dating shows except for Flavor of Love.
Really?
You remember watching Flavor of Love?
I do remember watching Flavor of Love. having 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 the opportunity to give girls chains with like big ass clocks on it.
Yeah, because that was Flavor Flav's thing.
I mean, yeah, dude. They had like what 3 or 4 seasons of it.
I think so. I just remember um, that one chick spat on that other girl.
Dude.
And I used to work at an arcade. That was like my first job, and I think one of the contestants went to that arcade. I don't remember. I think the chick that spat on another girl went to, cause I don't know. I remember working, and then after that was all like, "Yo, that looks like that one girl from Flavor of Love." And then after that, I asked my coworker, and she was like, "I think it is, but who knows, man." Are you looking up if
No, man.
what soul tapes?
I was actually trying to see what the timeline for the Soul Tapes were.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it was like, hold up, I could look it on my phone. I'm pretty sure it was like 2009, but Soul Tapes 2 was good. But I can understand where like from a commercial standpoint, you think like Fabulous fell off, but I don't even really know like all of Fabulous's, um, like his discography, I guess, or like all of like the other stuff that he dropped as far as like commercial albums. The Soul Tape 2 was good, bro.
Nah, man.
You didn't like Soul Tape 2? Or are you just saying that like you're trying to like Ray J had his hand in like Fabulous
In order to
downfall?
keep up my belief in this conspiracy theory, I gotta keep it. I gotta be close-minded to that.
November 22nd, 2012 was when Soul Tapes 2 dropped out. And that was really good.
Was it? I'll have to listen to it.
At least to me. But as far as like other conspiracy theories, one of
No. No. I'm not letting this go. I'm not letting this go. Not letting this go because Ray J's had a hand in everything. I mean, think about it. Think about it. Ray J's got way too much credit for a guy that doesn't have many hits under his belt.
I mean, he's Brandy's little brother, man. He's in Moesha.
I know. I mean, he's in Moesha. He has one hit. He had One Wish. Had other songs.
Mm-hmm.
But, Ray J's 40. He's been around for a while.
Mm-hmm.
He has been connected to a lot of things. The biggest thing that I found out that he could have been connected to was he could have been. I mean, reading a lot about this. Like I went down a big old rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
But the big thing about Ray J is he could have added a huge fire to the East Coast West Coast beef in the '90s.
Oh yeah, you were telling me this like it was the Ray J butterfly effect.
Yes, the Ray J butterfly effect.
Tell me about the Ray J butterfly effect.
So there are a couple of accounts from different people where Ray J being 15, cousin of Snoop,
Mm-hmm. Ray J's Snoop Dogg's cousin?
Yeah, they're cousins.
What the fuck?
You didn't know that?
So Snoop Dogg and Moesha are related?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a new fun fact. Okay, keep going.
Anyway, Ray J at 15, given that relationship, and being able to like have leverage Brandy a little bit more to get more notoriety. He did have singles out, and then he did release a couple of singles in the '90s. But there's a story that came out when he was like where like he was in 15, he was going into one of the studios and he found Faith Evans and Tupac hanging out, where Faith Evans is sitting on Tupac's lap.
Okay.
And I mean, as a kid, when you see something crazy, you're gonna tell a bunch of people.
Okay.
Apparently, Ray J was going around like saying it, and then word got to Biggie Smalls, and that helped, at the very least, helped add fuel to the fire that was the East Coast West Coast beef.
Damn, so you're saying Ray J is the first domino that that caused this.
I'm not.
How do you know? Like, did Ray J say that? Like, how do we know that he did that? You know what I'm saying?
So there's an interview that he did in 2008 that
Mhm.
essentially confirms.
So like he like said it like, oh yeah, I saw like Tupac and Faith Evans in the studio. Then I told someone who told someone that ended up going to Biggie.
Oh, he didn't go that far. He wouldn't
Okay.
go that far. I mean,
Well, he had to tell someone for in order for Biggie to find out, right?
yeah, but like I think with kind of like how I've read about it, like kind of like a little bit that I've read,
Mhm.
um, you know, it was one of those things where it was like, you know, when you're 15, you're just saying what you see,
Mhm.
and then someone like heard it, and then you know the butterfly effect took hold. Because he actually, you know, fun fact, he actually hung out with Big. I was reading this on one of the many articles about Biggie Smalls' death.
Mhm.
Ray J and Biggie Smalls were actually like in the studio a couple days before he died.
Before Biggie died?
Yeah, because he was gonna hop on a remix for one of Ray J's songs.
Oh no shit, really?
Yeah,
Damn, that's crazy.
so you could be that close to Biggie Smalls.
Yeah, but I think just like that butterfly effect thing is weird. That he's like the first domino that. Okay, we're gonna link all of these like the things that we say on the video, so you guys can look for yourselves.
And y'all could probably do way better investigative work than we have. To be fair,
But okay, all right. So since you're speaking about like Biggie and Tupac, so as a kid, one of like the craziest hip hop conspiracies that everyone would always talk about is Tupac is still alive.
I mean, people still talk about Tupac.
I don't think. Okay, dude. Before I go into my somewhat research on things, I remember watching like a video, and it was called like the 7 Day Theory, and it was just like a bunch of. I feel like when you watch it, I'll link the video. It looks like a school project of like kids in like the late '90s that are trying to convince other people that Tupac is alive, and it's like the craziest. Okay, I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it to you. There's a. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of weird. It honestly doesn't really make too much sense. But okay. So Tupac is alive theories. Conspiracy corner. Just
Okay.
conspiracies.
All right.
Okay.
I'm listening to this. I'm listening to this.
So Tupac, he was shot on September 7th. It's already starting this theme of sevens for some reason.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
So he got shot then, and he survived the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th, 12th. Wait, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, and died on the 13th. It was Friday the 13th, so spooky, right?
Okay.
So hence the title, The 7 Day Theory. Tupac's album All Eyes on Me was released on February 13th, 1996. Then Tupac died on September 13th, 1996. Is it a coincidence that the two dates are exactly 7 months apart? So boom, another 7. Tupac officially died at 4:03 p.m. 4 plus 3 is 7. Also, he died at an age of 25. 2 plus 5 is 7. It seems as if 7 is Tupac's number. There's nothing in the new album that says Tupac rest in peace 1971 to 1996. Wouldn't it make sense to include something like that in the first album after like, you know, his supposed death? But on his last album, The 7 Day Theory, the only thing that's mentioned is exit Tupac, enter Machiavelli. So the executive producer of The 7 Day Theory, as listed in the CD booklet of the album, is Simon, who is like whoever heard of someone named Simon. Like it's not even like no one knows him as like a producer. However, in the Bible, Simon was one of an apostle of Jesus. Simon was one of the first witnesses of the resurrection. So like Tupac coming back, like he faked his death and he's coming back to life. Freaking the Outlaws have confirmed Simon is a reference to Suge Knight, who was with Tupac the night of the shooting. So I don't know, like Suge Knight was a part of it. Okay, then the article kind of goes more into like how like his lyrics say like he's still alive, like he's just been like pointing out like different parts of the lyrics that hey, I faked my death and I'm still alive. I don't believe the lyric parts, But I'm gonna go into like other parts of the 7 day theory. So
Alright, alright.
so Tupac died in Las Vegas, which is like a payoff city. So I think what they mean by payoff city is like people saw it, but like they pay people to like not say anything.
Mm-hmm.
So the white Cadillac containing the assailants were never found. How could this be when Vegas is like in the middle of the desert? The white
Mm.
Cadillac containing the gunman passes an entourage of Tupac's boys, many of them bodyguards. No one gives no one gives chase, and there are no witnesses. There were no witnesses on the street. How come? Why not? Especially after a heavyweight fight, because it was after the Mike Tyson fight.
Mm-hmm.
The cover of Tupac's album Machiavelli was him looking like Jesus. Could this be a planning of a resurrection? Because why do you make his thing as Jesus? And like, you know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
know, I get
so
it.
like, and like, you know what happened to Jesus? You know,
Mhm.
he came back to life. So that's the theory that like Tupac's not dead, like he's still alive and he's like planning it. So Las Vegas in the middle of the desert. How come there was no helicopter chase? If someone were to rob a casino, Las Vegas PD would chase them down, and with like helicopters. How come there were any helicopters after Tupac shooting? Um, Also, at the time there was no ballistic test in the murder. Tupac's vehicle got shot 12 times, and Suge Knight didn't get hit once. He was only grazed. And I'm guessing like when they shot, like when they came up and did the drive-by, it was all on like Tupac's side.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like this kind of like goes into like maybe Suge Knight could have been a part of it. Who knows?
Mm.
Why did Tupac get shot all those times and Suge did not get hit? Suge said he drove Tupac to the hospital and they had a coherent conversation. How bad was Tupac hit? I guess not that bad because it said like Tupac completed 2 movies and 3 LPs that were to be released. With so many people upset about Tupac's death, literally anything connected with him is bound to net a whole lot of cash. There's $72 million life insurance policy on him, which has yet to be cashed. No legal actions could be taken against him as long as it isn't cashed. So I guess there's the life insurance thing, I guess. I don't know. Um, Let me see here. Then okay, this is go on to like more of like weirder stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
in the movie Good Luck, when Tupac and Ross were in dinner,
Uh-huh.
they glance up to the menus and all of the L's were upside down sevens. So there goes the seven thing again.
Okay, okay.
In the movie Game Related, Tupac and Belushi wait in a room 7, and Tupac's badge number was 115. 1 plus 1 plus 5 is
7.
7. The cross on Tupac's back says Exodus 16:31. The verse itself seems to have little meaning, but read this verse found right above it. So the people rested on the 7th day, so it has to do with like 7.
Continuing the 7th theme,
Yeah.
I see.
All of Exodus 16 deals with the 7 days. The song in which Tupac says he's alive, Hold Your Head, on the Machiavelli CD. Before Tupac begins rapping, a voice says, Can you see him? Another voice replies, I see him. Then Tupac softly says, I'm alive. Then, why have Suge Knight and the rest of his entourage been so uncooperative with the police in solving the murder? Is what it kind of goes into it. Like they didn't want to talk about it, but maybe because they didn't want to snitch. And then another thing, as far as like the whole Machiavelli, apparently, because like it's a book, right? It's called The Prince. So within the book, one of the advice that Machiavelli gives to people is, so like if you're at war, like a strategy is to give out news that you have died or like the captain has died, to kind of like throw off your enemies. So maybe that's what Tupac did, is like he faked his death to like throw off his enemies, man.
That's crazy, man.
But like the video, like when you watch the video, like they just like go on to like the whole 7 thing.
I think I've seen this video.
Yeah, and like I don't understand what like all of the 7s mean. I guess it's just like a coincidence. And then at the end of the video, it's all like Tupac will come back in 2003. It's 2021 now, so maybe he is alive, but who knows? Then there's like another theory that like, cause one of his aunts, so like Tupac's mom was the Black Panthers, and then after that, one of his aunts were in the Black Panthers as well. And one of the articles was saying that she has like asylum in Cuba,
Yeah.
so like that's where Tupac is
Oh
in
shit.
Cuba with his aunt. But yeah, Tupac is alive is like one of those things that people talk about, or like there were just a bunch of internet theories on those.
Do you believe in the in the 7 day theory?
I don't understand the 7 day theory, honestly. I don't. It's just coincidences with the number seven in Tupac's life, and for some reason it comes back in 2003. Like I don't get it. Um,
I mean, cause he died in '96.
yeah.
What's 7 years after 1996?
Is it 2003?
It's
Oh, that's
2003.
why. Okay. Duh. But maybe he was. I don't know. Man, Tupac died. Rest in peace. But freaking, those are always other. This is conspiracy theories, man.
I mean,
It's conspiracy theory time.
it really is conspiracy theory time. I think with in relation to that, I think one of the biggest. I think for me, I think one of the craziest conspiracy theories is that Suge Knight not only did he have a hand in Tupac's death,
Mm-hmm.
he also had a hand in Biggie Smalls' death and Eazy-E's death.
Mm.
I'll start with Eazy-E.
Okay.
There's been a lot of there's been a few things written about Eazy-E's death.
Mm-hmm.
There's been documentaries that kind of talked about it. But did you ever see the Jimmy Kimmel interview that Suge Knight did?
I did. I remember seeing it. But tell the people about it though. Like what happened.
Oh man, I don't remember how long ago this was. I don't remember how long ago the interview happened.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a point like pretty early on where Kimmel and Suge Knight were talking, and Suge Knight makes this whole. It's supposed to be a joke.
Mm-hmm.
A joke about how like dudes will take blood from someone that has AIDS and inject it in someone else that doesn't, so they have like a slow death or some shit.
Mm.
And like that like when cause I only heard of this recently.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even know this interview existed.
Mm-hmm.
But like people like there's a number of people that are using that and saying that like Suge wanted to get because at the time Tupac was actually signed to Ruthless Records,
Mm-hmm.
and he wanted no was it was either Pac or Dre that were signed to Ruthless Records.
Dr. Dre.
Mine and Dre.
Yeah,
Mine
Dr.
and
Dre.
Dre.
Mm-hmm.
But Suge Knight wanted to get Dre under Death Row.
Mm-hmm.
So Suge Knight tried to like threaten Eazy-E to make sure that he can get Dr. Dre out of it so he can sign with Death Row.
Yeah.
Eazy-E didn't want to do it, and then Suge Knight hired some people to give Eazy-E AIDS.
Yeah, that's great. And in that interview, like he says it like that. He's all like, "Yeah, you could get, you know what? It's like crazy. People are getting like vials with AIDS, and then they inject you something." Then he goes, "It's like that Easy E thing."
Yeah.
And then like it just got like all ominous, and like Jimmy Kimmel's all like, "Whoa."
Ooh.
And like even the crowd was like, "Jesus."
Yeah.
So like when he says that, you're like, "Why would you say that?" And then I feel like that's where that conspiracy comes from, where like he did it, because like the way he said it, it's like I don't know, it's like an idea. Like no one ever thought of that until he said that. You
Yeah.
know?
Exactly. So then so you have that,
Mm-hmm.
and then going back to what you're talking about, like Tupac, there was like I've read a lot of different things about Tupac's death,
Mm-hmm.
because like they still don't know, they still haven't like quite solved it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think they might have had a suspect.
I think there's like a whole like Vlad I think DJ Vlad.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah.
think he
Vlad
did a
TV
thing
did like a bunch of things about
where
it.
like everybody knows who did it, and I think it was like I don't know if it was like a Blood or a Crip or someone, but like it was like I think it was like gang related, and then after that the person that did it like came out and said that he did it. I forgot. It was something. It was something like that. But I didn't know that Suge had something in Biggie's death though. Like, what's that conspiracy?
I mean, let me talk to you about Tupac.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a bunch of stuff out there.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I was reading that's out about it is that like Suge Knight was like didn't want to lose any of Pac, because Pac was possibly looking to leave Death Row Records.
Mm-hmm.
So rather than lose him, Tupac had recorded like 5 or 6 albums worth of music, and
Mm-hmm.
you know had a bunch of stuff, like a bunch of royalties that he could have like started to collect on and everything. So
Yeah.
the the conspiracy around it is that Suge is actually the one that called the hit out on Tupac.
Mm.
You know, there it's because of that. Like that's the reason why Suge Knight only got grazed by a couple of bullets,
Yeah.
and Tupac got hit with what 5 out of the 12.
Yeah.
You know, it's 12. Side note: 12 minus 5,
Holy, is it
7.
Holy shit, bro.
7. But yeah, no. But then it just goes to the idea that like Suge Knight had like this like bigger hand in Tupac's death than people realize.
Mm.
That it might not have, and it might have, and because people might think it's gang related because, you know, Suge Knight, you know, basically had at the time had the whole blood gang,
Mm-hmm.
like
He was a blood.
Yeah, he was a blood.
Mm-hmm.
Had it like had any could had every gang had every member of the Bloods like available at his disposal essentially.
Mm.
And then like, you know, the reason why Suge like nothing LAPD or anything like that never got to Suge is because Suge had LAPD members on payroll.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one like I went like super deep into this. Like one of them was actually dating his like estranged wife.
The what?
One of the police officers was doing it. So like
Was dating Suge Knight's estranged wife?
yeah,
Oh, okay. Like, what's estranged wife mean?
like they're like no longer together.
Oh, okay, so like his ex-wife.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like because because like Suge Knight had so many people on payroll and like was able to like kind of like skirt stuff away from him because of that power that he had. It's the reason why he hasn't been attacked. And there's an interview that happened shortly after Tupac's death where Suge was asked like, "Hey, if you knew who killed Tupac, like would you tell him? Would you tell him?" He'd be like, "No." And then like there's another question that gets asked, and then he gives like this like kind of like weird answer, like almost like he like you almost get the sense that he has
like he knows something.
Like he knows something, but doesn't want to say anything.
Yeah.
Because and you know the theory.
Or is it kind of like the bad guy in movies, like you'll never find out. Mwahaha.
Yeah,
like that kind of
essentially kind of
like evil vibe.
Yeah. Exactly, like one of those kind of like ominous kind of
like
things.
Connivings, like you'll never know.
Yeah, you'll never know. Like I know, but you'll never know.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things where it's like people like that's like kind of like where the theory kind of goes from there. And then with like Biggie, you know, the theory on Biggie isn't quite as strong as it is with like Eazy-E, but like from what I was reading, you know, it goes into talking about how like, you know, Biggie was still like alive and making music and stuff like that. And Suge wasn't too happy about that. And you know, he felt like if, you know, because now I don't have Pop, y'all can't have Biggie, and so he put the hit out on Biggie Smalls.
Oh, so yeah, that's kind of weird. Like when I was going through like Reddit, they were like, why aren't there why aren't there Biggie as the live theories than Tupac as the live theories?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. But that's crazy. I feel like who knows, man? Maybe just Suge Knight's just out here, just like a boss kingpin, fucking putting out hits on people. Is he in jail right now?
He's in prison, man.
It's probably good that this guy's in jail.
Hold on, but you know what? You know, there's a lot of like things that you could talk about with Suge Knight. One of the most interesting people in music. You know, the dude literally at one point had so much power.
Yeah, man, he was part of Death Row.
I mean, wouldn't you like to like watch like a documentary about like Suge Knight? Would you read a book about like Suge Knight and all the stuff that he went through and everything?
I think I would watch like a documentary, like if they had like a cool one, because they always have like those documentaries about like Tupac's death and like trying to solve there's like unsolved mysteries, like trying to solve his murder. But yeah, if they had like a cool documentary, I wouldn't mind watching like the Suge Knight one.
Yeah, you know who has the rights to any Suge Knight related biographies or documentaries? Ray J.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Ray J owns Suge Knight's like intellectual property?
Suge Knight when Suge Knight went to prison, he gave all the intellectual stuff give the intellectual properties to everything like that to Ray J.
Ray J owns Suge Knight's intellectual property.
Essentially.
So okay, so like if you wanted to
So
make this
so like if Suge Knight wanted to release if Suge Knight wanted to release like an autobiography
of himself,
of himself,
he has to go through Ray J.
it'll go through Ray J, so that way Ray J can set up everything, so that way Suge Knight and his family get the most money out of it.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Damn. So this goes back to your.
It goes back to my theory that
It's just
Ray
a
J
full
runs,
circle that.
just full circle that Ray J runs everything now.
I mean, I do have Raycon earbuds. Shouts out Raycon if y'all want to sponsor.
If you want to sponsor.
Since you run everything, Ray J, what the hell?
I mean.
Wait, so Ray J owns how? Like he just did Suge Knight give it to him, or like?
Yeah, because from one of the many articles I was reading, you know, Ray J and Suge Knight are actually really close, which would make sense if, because you know there's like been like stories out that like Ray J's actually part of the Bloods.
Okay, but damn, who knows? I don't know about the gang stuff, but that's crazy how he owns Suge Knight's like IP rights.
Yeah, I mean technically Suge Knight still owns it, but Ray J has the exclusive rights to like do anything with it.
Oh, so he has like state of attorney type shit, like where it's like on my behalf. Ish.
Kinda ish.
Okay.
But yeah, no, dude. On a serious note, like Ray J, can if him and Suge Knight like talked about and agreed on it, could release release a documentary on him.
Yeah, man, I was freaking the whole Ray J butterfly effect thing was really like that kind of blew my mind a little. He was the first domino that caused the East Coast West Coast beef.
Yep. And if he wasn't the first, he was the biggest.
Yeah, I mean shit.
And I mean.
Okay. So to switch gears from conspiracy theory stuff.
You can't though. I mean everything
is Ray J. But real quick tangent. Who would you sign to in the 90s? Like if you're a rapper and you could choose any record label, would you sign to Death Row in the 90s?
No, I think Suge Knight would terrify me too much.
Yeah, but then you would have been on the California Love music video.
Yeah, but do I really want to be a part of Love?
I understand. I think if it was the 90s and I could sign to someone, damn, I don't know.
Honestly, I'd rather sign to Def Jam, but that's just me.
So like, yeah, who is? So like Rockefeller? Rockefeller is Def Jam.
Yeah, Rockefeller.
Honestly, I think I would have signed Death Row, man. I feel like the 90s, that would have been the best one. No, I guess it was like Death Row, Bad Boy. You know what? I'm gonna sign to Rap a Lot.
There you go.
Because I feel like that's the neutral. That's the neutral. It's not East Coast, West Coast. I'll just sign to Rap a Lot.
I mean, you could always sign to No Limit.
Was No Limit on the 90s?
Was it? I thought so.
Like 2000s maybe?
Was that early 2000s?
I don't know.
Hold up.
Damn. So yeah, those were our conspiracy theories. Freaking, my Tupac is alive conspiracy theory. Oh, okay, that makes sense. The +7 things.
Yeah, No Limit record was started in 1990.
Alright, yeah, you could sign No Limit.
Although, fun fact, it no longer exists.
Oh, damn. Freaking No Limit, man.
Yeah, freaking No Limit.
But yeah, I think Rap a Lot, so then I wouldn't have to be involved in the East Coast, West Coast beef.
I still think like either Def Jam or Rockefeller, personally.
Yeah.
Anything that gets me like in the proximity of Jay-Z.
I guess so then in the future you've invested early.
I would say Aftermath, but
that's 2000.
That's 2000.
Yeah, that's 2000. In 2000 I would want to sign. I guess I would sign a G-Unit so I could have a spinning chain. Those were my. That's all I wanted. That's all I ever wanted.
Oh man, too early to. Oh, dude, that'd be dope. Just having like the.
Not now, but 2003 it was fucking tight. I don't know how I'd feel about someone having a spinning chain now.
Dude, it'd be so weird to see like a car with spinners now.
Honestly, but like for the nostalgia, like if it was just that guy, like good for you, bro. But like I think if it was like, I don't think a majority of people.
Because I remember growing up like in like '04, like the '04 to like '07 era, and just seeing like SUVs with like spinners on them and being like, oh man, that's so
Yeah.
cool.
Or like we were saying, like we play like Need for Speed Underground.
Oh, dude, Need for Speed Underground
Yeah.
with the neon lights underneath.
Neon lights on the bottom. Yeah, that shit is tight.
Get it on like a Honda Civic and make it look like the
Yeah,
farthest thing
and
out
then
there.
put like NOS so you could go hella fast.
Right?
Shouts out Need for Speed.
Shout out to Need for Speed.
But man, your conspiracy theories, bro. It was
Nah, dude, the 7-day theory.
the 7-day theory is weird, but your whole like Ray J he owns the intellectual property of Suge Knight threw me off. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And it goes back full circle. Crazy. Man, hip hop conspiracy theories are messed up.
Dude, hip hop conspiracy theories are messed up.
They are messed up. But you know what's not messed up? It's our first episode together, bro.
Yeah, man.
I'm really happy. So to all the listeners out there, you know we would have talked about all this stuff anyway.
You know, don't be afraid to fact check us either. If we were off in any of
We're
this.
hella off. I'm gonna put some links in the bottom so you could look at like my 7-day theory stuff, and then
I'll send
You
over
should-
links to.
yeah, we'll figure that out for like the Ray J saying that the Ray J butterfly effect one is what like blew my mind.
Dude, I'm telling you,
the
man.
most.
Vince Staples was really onto something. I'm telling you.
But thanks for tuning in, guys. This is our first live episode. Peace. Damn, I didn't know you owned intellectual property.
Yeah, dude, I found that out like